movie starts on a stormy night. A young girl named Carrie Ann, who seems to be mentally unstable, walks toward her parents' bedroom. Her mother wakes up because of the noise, and when she checks on Carrie, the girl attacks her with a hammer, killing her. Carrie's father, Jacobson, hears the sounds and comes to check, but Carrie kills him too. After murdering both her parents, she runs away and never comes back. The story then moves to 4 years later. A new family moves into a neighborhood called Woodshire. Elissa and her mother, Sarah, are starting fresh in a huge house next to the infamous Jacobson residence, which they can see from their window. Because of the tragic history of the Jacobson house, property prices in the area have dropped, making it affordable for Sarah and Elissa to rent their beautiful home. One evening, Elissa gets curious and decides to explore the Jacobson house. However, after hearing strange noises in the forest, she changes her mind and goes back. During dinner, it becomes clear that even though Sarah is divorced from her husband, Elissa still misses her father. Later that night, Sarah wakes up because she hears strange noises outside. To her surprise, Sarah discovers that someone is still living in the Jacobson house, which was thought to be abandoned. The next day, Sarah and Elissa meet their neighbors and learn that Ryan, Jacobson's son, is living in the infamous house, but he keeps to himself and doesn't interact much with others. During this time, Elissa meets Tyler, a teenage boy who attends the same school she will be going to. Tyler is also involved in organizing a program to help with famine relief. The neighbors explain that the town once tried to buy the Jacobson house because it was lowering property values, but Ryan refused to sell it no matter what. It is also revealed that Ryan wasn't home during the tragic events. He was staying safely with his aunt in another state. However, there's more to the story. Rumors have been going around for years that after the tragedy, Ryan's sister Carrie Ann drowned in the dam, and her body was never found. Tyler mentions that some people claim to have seen Carrie Ann living in the woods, but others think it's just a made-up story. Later, when Sarah and Elissa return home, Elissa hears strange noises in the woods again. She even sees a shadow moving among the trees. The next day at Woodshire High School, Tyler invites Elissa to a party organized by the famine group. Elissa says no because she already has plans with her mother. However, she later finds out that her mother has to work the night shift, so Elissa decides to go to the party with Tyler. At the party, Tyler starts bothering Elissa, which makes her very angry. She decides to leave immediately. The road is dark and quiet, with thunder rumbling in the distance. As she walks home, a car stops near her. She tries to call her mother, but her mom doesn't answer. The driver turns out to be Ryan, who recognizes Elissa as his new neighbor. He offers to give her a ride, but Elissa feels uneasy about Ryan and says she's waiting for her mother. However, it starts raining heavily, and Elissa has no choice but to accept Ryan's offer. On the way home, Elissa asks Ryan why he still lives in the house where his parents were murdered. Ryan explains that when he was 7, his father sent him away. Now, the house is the only thing he has left to remember his family. Ryan tells Elissa that after fixing the house, he plans to sell it and move to a new place. When Elissa gets home, her mother scolds her for riding with Ryan and not telling her. Elissa becomes upset and ignores her mother. Meanwhile, Ryan cooks a meal for one person and takes it to the basement. He opens a small hidden door in the floor and goes into a secret area. At the end of a hallway, he enters a room, but is suddenly attacked by a young woman who looks like Carrie Ann. Ryan injects her with a drug to make her unconscious again. He wonders why she always tries to escape, even though he believes he takes good care of her. He also tells her not to disturb the new neighbor. Before leaving, he puts the key to the room on top of the door frame, where he always keeps it. The next day at school, Elissa sees Tyler and tries to avoid him, but he insults her. She meets her new friend Jillian, whom she got to know at the party. Later, Jillian's brother and his friend join them. They know that Elissa is a good singer and ask her to join their band for an upcoming tournament. At the same time, Sarah meets a police officer named Bill. She tells him that she has just moved to the area with her daughter and asks if there is anything she should know about Ryan. Unlike most people, Officer Bill doesn't dislike Ryan. In fact, he feels sorry for him because Ryan is so lonely. Bill also says he has never had any trouble with Ryan, but people like to say bad things about him. Hearing this, Sarah feels relieved and realizes she got upset over rumors. Meanwhile, Elissa visits Ryan's house for the first time and gives him a CD of her music. While there, she notices some strange things, like a lot of food stored in an old fallout shelter and a walkie-talkie with a drawing of Carrie Ann on it. However, she ignores these things and continues to explore the house. Elissa sees a family photo of Ryan's family and admires Carrie Ann's bright blue eyes. When she visits Carrie Ann's old room, she notices it looks like a child's room, even though Carrie Ann was supposed to be 13. Ryan explains that one day while they were playing on swings, Carrie Ann swung higher and higher, but suddenly fell off. Ryan called for his parents to help, but they were sitting nearby, completely unresponsive because they were using drugs. The accident caused brain damage to Carrie Ann, and when she woke up, she was completely different. She became aggressive, attacking her family and breaking things. Elissa goes home and tells her mother she was at Ryan's house. Sarah becomes worried and warns Elissa to stop trying to help Ryan, saying he is too damaged to fix. Later, after Elissa leaves the house, Ryan checks on Carrie Ann in her locked room. However, he forgets to lock the door when he leaves. When Carrie Ann wakes up, she manages to break free and escapes. Ryan notices her outside and runs after her, but Carrie Ann seems to be heading toward Elissa's house. Suddenly, Elissa hears her door rattling, which scares her. When she checks outside, Jillian jumps out from behind and scares her even more as a joke. After the two friends go inside, it is revealed that Ryan managed to capture Carrie Ann before anyone saw her. The next day, Sarah surprises Elissa by inviting Ryan to dinner at their house. Elissa is confused because her mother had been against him before. During dinner, Sarah asks Ryan some awkward questions while drinking a lot of wine. When Sarah steps away to get dessert, Ryan thanks Elissa for being the first person to invite him anywhere since the murders. During dinner, Sarah suddenly tells Ryan and Elissa that they are not allowed to be alone together, whether at his house or theirs, unless she is with them. Sarah is worried because her daughter is still in high school, while Ryan is older and in college. Ryan respects Sarah's rule and leaves immediately, but this makes Elissa angry at her mother for being rude. The next day, Sarah talks to Officer Bill and tells him everything that happened the night before. She explains that she is strict with Elissa because she doesn't want her daughter to repeat the mistakes she made as a teenager. Meanwhile, Elissa is still upset with her mother, feeling that she is being treated like a child. Later, Elissa meets Ryan and apologizes for her mother's behavior. While with her friend Jillian, Elissa asks Ryan for a ride home. However, Jillian seems nervous and uncomfortable around Ryan. Ryan drops Jillian off at her house first, and then reminds Elissa of his promise to her mother. He tells her they shouldn't be alone together. Elissa doesn't take her mother's rules seriously. She tells Ryan that she has connected her mobile phone to the home telephone, so all calls will be forwarded to her mobile. She then gets a call from her mother, who says she will be busy with the night shift again. That evening, Elissa and Ryan go inside his house and start making out on the couch. The noise they make is heard by Carrie Ann through the baby monitor in the basement. Carrie Ann manages to escape and tries to run away. Ryan notices her taking a knife and shouts at Elissa, telling her to leave the house immediately. He then chases after Carrie Ann, who runs into the woods. Carrie Ann tries to reach a couple sitting in a nearby car, but Ryan catches her before she can get there. As Carrie Ann struggles and makes noises that could alert the couple, Ryan holds her tightly to stop her. Sadly, his grip becomes too strong, and he accidentally snaps her neck, killing her. Heartbroken, Ryan carries her body and drives away to take care of it. After dealing with the body, Ryan goes to a cafe where a student waitress named Peggy Jones notices he is upset. She tries to comfort him and gives him a slice of cake. Later, Ryan calls Elissa to apologize, saying he doesn't fully understand what happened the previous night and that he wants to meet her again. Elissa uses the chance to invite him to her school's Battle of the Bands. When Ryan arrives at the event, some boys, including Tyler, make fun of him and call him a freak. Ryan ignores them and goes to meet Elissa, but they are interrupted when someone tells Ryan that the boys are damaging his car. Ryan tries to stop Tyler and his friends, but they start attacking him. Ryan has no choice but to defend himself. He grabs Tyler's leg, breaks it, throws him to the ground, and steps on his broken leg. This terrifies everyone. Ryan realizes he has to escape and runs away. The boys, angry and out of control, go to Ryan's house to destroy it. Elissa, seeing what is happening, takes Ryan's car and drives to his house to save it. The boys try to set the house on fire, but Elissa arrives just in time and manages to put out the fire before it becomes worse. Not long after, Elissa gets a call from her mother, Sarah, who tells her that Tyler has been admitted to the hospital. Elissa explains that Ryan was only defending himself against 6 boys. Sarah asks Elissa to come home, but Elissa gets upset, ends the call, and says she is staying at her house. After hanging up, Elissa notices a box of tampons and another strange box in Ryan's trash. Meanwhile, Tyler's parents demand that Ryan be arrested, but Officer Bill tells them he will investigate the situation first before taking any action. Sarah becomes worried about Elissa, but Bill reassures her and decides to check on both Ryan and Elissa. At Ryan's house, Elissa hears strange noises coming from the basement. When she goes to check, she finds out it's just the washing machine. As she is about to leave, she notices a hidden door under the carpet and decides to open it. Elissa walks down a hallway and enters a room at the end. Suddenly, Ryan arrives, catches Elissa, and tells her to go upstairs and wait. Inside the room, Elissa sees a girl who Ryan calls Carrie Ann. After Ryan gives Carrie Ann a sedative and ties her to the bed, it becomes clear that one of her eyes is not blue. Elissa goes back to the kitchen and confirms her suspicions when she discovers that the strange box in the trash had held a pair of blue contact lenses. She also finds a wallet belonging to Peggy Jones, the waitress who gave Ryan coffee and cake. This reveals that the girl in the basement is actually Peggy, not Carrie Ann. Elissa is startled when Ryan appears and asks her to promise not to tell anyone about what she has seen. Scared, Elissa promises to keep it a secret, but as she tries to leave, Ryan knocks her unconscious. Her phone falls to the floor unnoticed. Elissa wakes up to find herself tied tightly to a chair in the basement. Ryan then reveals the truth. His sister, Carrie Ann, died in the swing accident long ago. The girl Elissa saw earlier, as well as other girls before her, were victims Ryan had kidnapped. They were trying to escape from him. Elissa asks who killed Ryan's parents, but he doesn't answer. Instead, Ryan explains that even though his sister is gone, he still needs someone to be Carrie Ann. That's why he kidnaps girls and forces them to take her place. Now Ryan plans to make Elissa his next Carrie Ann. Meanwhile, Sarah tries to call Elissa, but when Elissa doesn't answer, Sarah becomes terrified and asks Officer Bill to check Ryan's house. At Ryan's house, he prepares to force Elissa to become his sister, Carrie Ann. He talks to himself, saying that Carrie Ann's death was his fault and that his parents punished him for it. But he stopped them, hinting that he killed his parents. When Bill arrives at Ryan's house, he questions Ryan about the fight with Tyler. Bill also asks about Elissa, but Ryan claims she is not there and might still be at the Battle of the Bands. Before leaving, Bill tries to call Sarah's home phone, but he hears the ringtone coming from inside Ryan's house. Realizing something is wrong, Bill confronts Ryan. Ryan quickly grabs a knife and turns off the lights, forcing Bill to chase him in the dark. Meanwhile, Elissa manages to free her legs, but to free her arms, she uses a hot lamp to burn through the ropes. As Bill searches the house and goes down toward the basement, Ryan pushes him down the stairs. Lying at the bottom, Bill yells at Ryan, saying that all of this could have been stopped earlier. It is then revealed that Bill was there when Carrie Ann died. He knew Ryan's parents were addicts and helped them cover up her death. Ryan becomes furious when Bill claims he was trying to protect him. Enraged, Ryan stabs Bill to death. After killing Officer Bill, Ryan goes to Elissa, but she immediately attacks him and locks him in a room before trying to escape. She blocks the secret entrance with the washing machine, but she cannot leave the basement because the door is locked. Terrified after seeing Bill's dead body, Elissa tries to escape through the garage, but the doors are locked too. She gets into a car, but Ryan finds her there and captures her again. Later, Sarah arrives at Ryan's house and starts banging on the door, asking for Elissa. Ryan opens the door and lies, saying Elissa is not there. At the same time, Elissa escapes from the car trunk and breaks the glass on the garage door. Hearing this, Sarah realizes her daughter's inside the house. When Sarah tries to help, Ryan stops her by stabbing her in the stomach. Meanwhile, Elissa escapes the garage and hides in the basement. Ryan starts searching for her, saying he loves her but needs someone to be Carrie Ann. When he finds her, Elissa runs and grabs Bill's gun. Ryan tries to hide and turns off all the lights, but when he attacks Elissa, she shoots him several times, knocking him to the ground. Elissa turns the power back on and tries to grab Ryan's keys, but he suddenly wakes up. Just then, Sarah shows up and hits Ryan with a hammer, delivering the final blow. Sarah and Elissa manage to escape, and the next day they decide to leave town. The movie ends with a scene in prison where Ryan remembers his childhood. His mother used to beat him for being himself and forced him to act like Carrie Ann. This shows how Ryan became mentally ill and explains why he killed his parents while acting as Carrie Ann.
And with that, the movie ends. We hope you enjoyed our video. Watch the next recaps on the screen, and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing recaps. See you in the next one.